are. Okay. What? Just want to say something? Okay. All righty. Well, hi, guys. Okay, so we're going to start the recording with just some general announcements, and then I'll tell you all about our incredible weekend. I'll have the lovely ladies come up front. So, a couple of things. First of all, you can earn your key jewelry this month. I'm sure y'all know that. It's a gorgeous bracelet. Anyone earned it in the room so far? Yay! Who's gonna earn it? We're all gonna have $1,000 weeks this week, right? So we all can earn our bracelet like that. It's nothing. Let's see. Of course, there's the cruise, which we're gonna talk a lot more about the cruise. And I posted a great training today about, you guys, literally, it's possible. There's people that have done it in a month. If they can do a month, we can do it in 6 months. And I will tell you that, you know, Nathan Moore, we all got to meet Nathan Moore, and all the lovely ladies got to spend time with them. And he really put himself out there. He really put himself out there by advocating this cruise and really promoting the cruise. This is all his idea. And so the whole weekend, he's like, y'all don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. We got to fill the boat. We got to fill the boat. And so the entire time, you know, he's like, okay, guys, we got to earn this cruise. Like, I hope you're excited about it. I mean, it's a cruise. Where else, what other company can you earn a cruise? You know, it's an incredible opportunity, and also for what it's going to do for your business is powerful. And I will tell you that all the ladies in the room committed. I would love to have, wouldn't it be cool if we as a unit had the most cruise winners? That would be amazing. Okay, that would be stinking amazing. So I will tell you that we committed. Yeah, I'm sure we would. I'm sure there's something cool for that. But I will tell you, okay, this is accountability right here. And I'm sure that he would do it if we had the most people, for sure. But Nathan Moore said that he may dye his hair pink, and definitely Susan Johnson said that she would dye her hair pink if all 5 of the consultants that were there, the people that were there, earned the cruise. Nathan Moore is going to dye his hair pink.
We're doing it.
When people earn the cruise, and I believe we as a unit have the most. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? That's to have the most cruise winners. So my goal, let's see, I think to have the most. What if we shot for 20? Let's shoot for 20 winners. 25. Okay, we'll go 25 people to earn it. 25 people to earn it. That we need you guys to step up and earn it. Like, we as a group are doing it. Why not you? You can be brand new. You can be brand spanking new. It doesn't matter. Anybody can earn this cruise, which is really cool. There's no reason why a brand new person can't earn a cruise. In fact, I have a director friend that she just told us that she has a new girl that came in 2 weeks ago and is halfway done with the cruise. You guys, it's right here. It's right here. You get excited about something and you tell everyone about it, you can earn the cruise. So why not you? The question to ask is, so many times when you hear something like that, oh, I can never do that. Oh, that's nice for other people. No, ask yourself, why not me? How can I earn that cruise? Ask yourself those positive questions, because why not you, right? So we're excited about it.
If you earn the cruise and somebody underneath you earns the cruise, one of your red jackets earns the cruise, each person who earns the cruise underneath you, you get $11,000 commission per person. So if you're earning the cruise with your friends and with your team, you're earning a ton of money. And so
in the process,
if you're having $11,000 per person.
Yeah, that was if you're a director, but yeah. But seriously, why not do it with your team? Because when you earn the cruise, you are going to probably become a director. Yeah, because you're going to be a director. So excited about that. So earn the cruise. Okay, the big announcement I want to make sure you guys know about is Career Conference. Career Conference. Yes. Who's already registered for Career Conference? Woo! Yeah. Who's going to get registered for Career Conference? Yeah.
Everybody!
You guys do not want to miss it. This is literally a game changer. It's like the weekend we just had. You get to experience that. Anybody can experience that next month, and you get to hear from the top people in the region. Now, the other thing I want to say about Career Conference, so our goal's at 40. This month is really critical for Career Conference recognition. So if we want to be #1 again, we need to kick it up, because we got a lot of work to do that. And Nikki McDaniel's coming, and she's ahead of us right now. So I know. So we need to kick it up, and I'm just saying that as a group, for fun. It's friendly competition. We need to probably do, I would say we need to do at least 40,000 this month. That would be my guess. And right now we're at about 12,000. So we can kill it the next week. We can totally kill it.
And everybody earns $1,000.
Absolutely. If everyone here does 1,000 and go recruit some people, we got it.
At least next week.
Yay! All right, so y'all are doing it. Yeah, we're all doing it. We're doing it. Yep. So to probably be number one, if I was just guessing, we have at least a $40,000 month. But more importantly for you guys, like I want you to go to career conference with a win. I want you to go career conference, be able to walk across that stage for something. So look up the recognition that you can get recognized for and see where can I win? Where can I go to career conference at a win? Because the recognition ends at the end of this month. So maybe it's you want to be in your red jacket. Maybe you want to be in DIQ and go to career conference and in all the special DIQ classes or the special red jacket classes or whatever. I want you to go to career conference with a win, but this month is critical that by you stretching and finishing and reaching your goals this month, we as our unit are going to be able to reach our goals. Does that make sense? So, yeah. So really push the next few weeks to be able to rock it out and to be able to celebrate at career conference. So,
heck yes!
And then yes, we're going to have an awesome career conference. It's going to be amazing. And Pam posted today the link. Thank you, Pam, for all your work with the hotel. Did you want me to pass this around? If you like I think she already, if you already have a room, great. Also, I did want to say if you don't have a roommate, I've had several people ask me and say, hey, I don't have a roommate. Can you plug me in with somebody?
You got a roommate?
The directors stay together.
Oh.
So yeah.
I was trying to sneak it.
Yeah.
Ain't got no.
So if you need, how about let's do this. If you need a roommate, can they write it on the back of this? If you need a roommate, I know I had 3 or 4 people reach out to me saying, hey, I don't need a roommate, plug me in with somebody. So if you need a roommate, pass it around. All right. What'd you say? Any questions about career conference? It's going to be amazing. We're all going to go, right?
I'm putting stipulations next to my name.
You can do that. The other thing, oh my gosh, this is a big announcement that I would hope we don't forget, because I know with all the craziness, it's easy to forget. This month, Mary Kay is putting an extra $69 of product in the starter kit.
Yes.
$69. A tone correcting serum and the serum C, the vitamin C squares.
Yeah.
You guys, that's $69 extra. Our recruiting numbers are way lower than they normally are, so that means we're not excited about it. If you get excited about it, you're going to go tell everyone about, oh my gosh, there's $69 extra in the starter kit. This is your month, or this is the month to sign up. So, are you guys excited about that?
Who's ever been interested and never did it, that's time gone.
This is time to follow up, just to follow up. And usually it's just because we forgot. You know, I know it's like the middle of the month that we're like, oh yeah, that's right, they were doing that. That the last, 2 weeks of the month, this is time to follow up people and remind them. I know. Well, let's not do that. Imagine if you work with that intensity the last couple of weeks. So imagine that. The other thing is the $100 bonus. Normally you guys get a $50 bonus for team building this month. So I think Mary Kay wants us to team build this month, right? Normally you get a $50 team building bonus. Now you get a $1,000 team building bonus. 1,000. Candace just said 1,000. Well, you can recruit 10 people and you get 1,000. Oh, yeah. The other thing, I think this is the last thing on here, is that Bill Cantrell, he did a call. If you guys want to start the call, it starts tomorrow night. You do that for the next 10 weeks, or 10 to 12 weeks, he said, depending on how long it takes. But it's going to be pretty awesome. All right, any other questions?
We put our names in one of these?
Just on the, if you want, yeah, well, if you have a room full of people, but if you just are like, hey, I need a roommate, put it on the back, and I'll connect y'all.
Okay. We putting on there, they got to drink wine.
Today is National
Drink
a Glass of
Wine Day.
It's
Today is the requirement.
Yes.
That's funny. All right. Okay, I think that is it. All righty. So if you, oh yes, 8. But it's, you did have to sign up for. Did you listen to the other one? Okay. So listen to the first one and see if you want to sign up, because there, you do pay for it, and so it's a thing if you want to be a part of it. So ask Christina, or you can see on our Facebook page the recording of it. Yeah, you can listen to it and then see if you want to be a part of it, and see if you want to be a part of it. Yeah, because it's pretty powerful. The whole call is going to be about pushing through rejection and fear of failure and procrastination and all those really, like, the things that really hold us back. The things that really hold us back, because really we know how to book and sell and recruit. And it just is a matter of us believing ourselves and getting excited. So, all right. I think that was the last announcement. All right, ladies. So if you came to $1 Million Weekend, come up front. They get to sit at the chairs and yeah, I want to have y'all share.
All
About
right.
the weekend. Yeah. Yeah. I know they're all muted. Sorry. She just wasn't waving. Oh, you guys see?
There you
Okay,
go.
I got this going on here, and so this needs to go away. All right. There, now you can see them, but actually they're not.
Okay.
All right.
So go ahead and how about just each of you share? We can go through. I don't have so much to share, but
We got 40 minutes.
yeah, I think that's why I figured we got plenty of time to keep it on track. 45 minutes, we'll be good to go.
Well, I'm going to start with all the free stuff
Yeah.
because that's my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this super adorable purse, vegan leather, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, whatever it is. We're still not sure.
It's not leather.
I mean, the word leather doesn't make sense. We got a botanical set. We got a super cute Mary Kay water bottle.
Which Brandy got too.
Yes, and the sunglasses she got too, which I didn't bring. We got a brow tint because we had a special Mary Kay lady.
Well, I didn't get that.
You didn't go to the booth.
You didn't go
You
to
didn't
the
go to the brow bar. So we went to the brow bar because they actually had a little expo for us and everything. And so at the brow bar, we got a makeup tutorial from, what is her name? I have it in here somewhere. But I have her email, and she said that we can ask her any question that we have about anything makeup related whatsoever. Her name is Katie Wren, and she works for Mary Kay Corporate. And so she did a whole tutorial on a day look and how to turn a day look into a night look. And she was
Like two different colors. It was pretty cool.
super easy. And so we each got one of those. And then we got some satin body. We got this cute little thing that was on our table. It says Destination Red. It's crunch time. Find your 3 musketeers and let's cruise to the Bahamas. Yeah, a little key in it. And a thing of bazooka bubble gum because Miss Kristen Sharp gave us a cute little analogy with that. And then what else do I have in here? The orange is and we paid $22 for breakfast one day, so we went through and grabbed everything on the way out.
We don't totally stuff like that.
Got the cute scarf, the little hat, and then lots and lots of training materials.
And candy.
And candy, and I got some swatches for my girls who move up.
That's the new director suit. They got to see the new director
New
suit.
director suit. We got to see it. They did a whole fashion show for us. It was
Which
so
was cool.
awesome. And so let's see what I got here.
How's her on the director show? I don't know if they've seen that. Or the
Swatch,
that little postcard
yeah.
and swatch. I don't know if they've seen
Here,
that.
let me grab.
And then that little
These
postcard right there. Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
shocked you.
Oh, that's the
Now there's things about the cars, about the cruise. I can just pass them. I'm gonna pass all of that.
yeah, you can just look at it all.
And
I like
then
rubbed it all over my
there we can even pass
I felt it.
this
I
stuff
needed to know
too.
how it was gonna feel.
Except for that. I want to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely talk about that.
Oh, I already had mine by my goalpost and I forgot about it.
Ah,
Well, not that I forgot.
Well, we haven't played bingo, but here, you can look through whatever materials. There's a lot of awesome stuff there. Like here, take it off. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I actually hope that maybe one day we can do this
that'd be a really cool
with
exercise.
everybody
yeah. It'd be a
here.
really
I
cool
think that would
exercise.
be really. And so they gave us this little thing here, and they said to write your name, the position you desire, and 2 words that you wish you were more like, or 2 adjectives that you wish
Yeah,
you
like
were
you
more
want
like.
to be described as.
And so I put my name, I put sales director. I hope I can be more inspiring and a great listener. And then you pass it around to everyone at your table, and then they write what they describe you as. So it's just kind of a build you up kind of thing. It was really cool. And then you go into the room, and so I'll show you guys here too. You go into the room and you get to pick someone. I ran straight to Crystal Downey Shada, $1 million director. And so I got to do the little thing with Crystal. And so I started with her first, and I said, Crystal Downey Shada, you are a national sales director. And then she had to repeat, I am. And then I went through to everything on her card. I said, you are beautiful. You are inspiring. You are caring. And after each thing, she had to say, I am. And her eyes are just welling up. And she's $1 million director, guys. And she is just crying as I'm doing this. And it was just so inspiring. So then we're supposed to take a picture of each other. And for the next 5 months, we have to remind each other every single month via text how amazing we are. And I didn't think I was crying during this. Like, I didn't feel emotional. She sent me the picture and my eyes were like completely glossed over. So apparently it was like way more inspiring than I even realized until I saw the picture. I'm like, oh crap, I was crying. So yeah, I mean, they just did a lot of really cool things. I mean, we came back from lunch, we played bingo, where we just had to run around and meet everyone and fill out these squares, which that's being passed around too. And I was one away. Just someone who was born in Texas. I didn't go to the Texan table.
I didn't go to Texas table.
Like a lot of people were from Texas. Well, one table. But they were the only ones.
Was from Texas. Yeah.
And I went to that table and they didn't sign the
They didn't sign mine either.
Yeah, another thing.
Oh, another thing that stuck in my mind too that I thought was really cute. There was a girl there at the Texan table. She had purple hair, and they asked her what was her motivating drive to become a director. And she said, well, the red jacket didn't match my hair. It was my favorite thing. I loved it because pink and red.
Yeah.
Guys.
I know, I was saying I put this outfit on. I'm like,
This black, I mean.
I have to say one thing
good.
randomly that impressed me about Debbie's unit, because that was the Texas table. There was another girl there that was blind. Like, she was walking around, you know, with her six. She's literally legally blind. And she was one of her top, Maria. She was one of her top 5 people. Can you imagine the limitations you have when you're blind? You can't drive, you can't whatever.
Her car.
Yeah,
she can't judge either though.
Yeah, no prejudging. But can you imagine, like, we limit ourselves, and we all can see. I know y'all can see me. At least I hope so. But, you know, it's just the limiting stuff that we have is right here, you know, because, you know, we can drive, we can see, we can talk to people. And you just imagine, like, I mean, even eating, like, I was in front of her and I was, you know, putting all the things in her, you know, her bowl for her. And, you know, just think about stuff like that. Like, you can't get food yourself. You can't do anything yourself. She, I'm sure, can't take her stuff to her skincare class herself because she can't drive, you know? So look, think about that. We all can go on a charge for our car because we all can see. And she's going to earn her car this month, and she's blind. So.
that she connected with her. Kristen Sharp has 15 legally blind consultants in her.
Yeah.
15.
So
Why do we
yeah,
limit ourselves?
that's not just one who's exceptional. That's anybody can do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it really wasn't just one. So even though she was there and super awesome, it wasn't just a one-off circumstance. So however you want to look at it.
So cool.
Great.
Awesome. So share about some of the ahas and the takeaways.
I have a cool quote that Kristen Sharp had said. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. You may have gotten knocked down, but you didn't get knocked out. I thought that was so awesome because you're going to fall. You're going to fail. But the only way you actually fail is if you quit. So don't quit. Keep going. 160,000 thoughts per day. Without checking your thoughts, 90% of those thoughts can be negative. So you need to make sure you're in the right mindset. Don't call it being overwhelmed. Call it an abundance of possibilities that I get to prioritize. There's just a lot of reasons that you can flip the script in your head, and you don't need to think of anything in a negative tone. And we all have those bad days, but it's going to be a worse day if you continuously think negative all day long. Interested makes you more interesting.
So listen.
They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. She just kept saying like these one-liners, so I was like, woo!
Yeah.
When someone says they're discouraged, ask them, when did you last have courage?
And ask yourself, like, she talked a lot about self-coaching.
Mhm.
Just write this stuff down. This is like powerful stuff. Does anyone need a pen or whatever? Because y'all, if you want to remember all this stuff, we're telling you some super powerful stuff that you're going to remember. You got to write it down. Mary Kay always said the most retentive ink is better than the best the faintest ink is better than the most retentive memory. Yeah.
Oh, the overwhelmed. So instead of saying you're overwhelmed, you have an abundance of possibilities that you now get to prioritize.
When you feel yourself saying that, she talked about the power of self-coaching, that you got to catch yourself. So I'd encourage you, if you did not write that down, what she just said is, when you feel discouraged, ask yourself, when was the last time I had courage and what happened?
Pretty powerful. She said self-coaching gives you the opportunity to press the pause button. So just stop. If you have a bad thought in your head, say, bye-bye.
Cancel.
Bye, baby. Bye, baby.
She does it to herself.
She says, yeah. Just get it out of your head. Don't say why. Ask the questions who, what, when, where, how.
That means when you're asking yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So just to clarify, why didn't she sign up? Why didn't she do anything?
Or why did I do this?
There must be something wrong with me, but instead ask yourself, who can I talk, ask.
Who can I talk to?
The why questions are always negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's the same thing when asking your spouse and your kids, why did you do that? Why, don't ask why questions, ask, because that's always negative. It's always going to go negative when you're asking.
Just saying, because I do that to my kid a lot, why do you never listen to me? And I'm like, oh man, that was one of my biggest ahas, because honestly, that,
maybe you could change it, say, what can I do to help you listen?
Or how come you think that's okay? That's easier than why did you do that? And how come you think that's okay?
Well, they had said an analogy too, like when you bring your kid into the restaurant and you say, you better behave and you better not act up this time and you better not do this. That already instills in the kid's head
that
all these negative things that now they're thinking about.
It's like reverse psychology.
Instead being like, we're going to have a lovely lunch together. You and your brother are going to get along perfectly. This is going to be fantastic. And then the kids.
I do that all the time.
Okay.
Like, we're going into the store and we're not going to touch it. Okay?
But she said, don't say the negative.
Don't say the negative though. Say, we're going to behave this whole time and keep our hands to ourselves. Just kind of flipping it a little bit.
So I just did that with Samara. And because normally when we go into somewhere fancy, she's got to act like, y'all know, all right? Yeah. Something like that. And so anyway, I went in, we were talking to her today in the car, and I was like, we're going to have so much fun in here. We're going to order your favorite meal, and you're going to get to enjoy being around all this cool stuff. And I didn't say anything about her being bad or nothing. And she's like, Mom, can I have some oranges? And she ate this big old huge bowl of oranges. And she did good the whole time. Didn't even, just because I didn't even bring it up. I didn't even bring up that she was going to be bad or say anything about it. So then she was just like, oh, this is fun. And I was like, good. Yeah, it worked out pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that more often.
Heck yeah. I just have a couple more quotes I want to share, and then I'll pass it on. It says, the hardest person to lead is yourself. When you learn to lead yourself, you will lead others. Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is powerful. Her tips, she had done this thing. This is Kristen Sharp still. She just was so inspiring. But she had just kind of talked about how to acknowledge people. And instead of celebrating their $500 week, celebrate their inner qualities, celebrate their heart, celebrate who they are instead of their $500 week. Because then the next week, if they don't have a $500 week, they might not show up because they're disappointed in themselves. So she had said to make eye contact and face her heart to heart, to hold her hand, do the Mary Kay hand cup, and slow your speech in the moment. Speak from your heart to hers. Focus on who she is on the inside, not what she did, and celebrate her inner strengths. And then she had also said to be a pearl girl. We all get the opportunity to earn these right when we start. And so even her as a national sales director, she still wears her pearls because she wants people to be able to relate to her and be proud of their pearls. If you're not wearing your pearls, even as a higher director and stuff, then they're like, oh, cool, I earned something that you don't even wear because it's not expensive enough, kind of thing. And so with you being a pearl girl, you're showing that you're sharing this quality with her and this success, that your pearls are super important. And then there was one other thing I wanted to say. There's a couple. Take your business seriously, but take yourself lightly. And you blow smoke, you lose steam. And I love that one. That was how she ended it. And so yeah, that was pretty much just from her. I'll let them continue to share, or else I'm going to take everything they want to say. I shut up now.
All right, so I'm going to talk only a little bit about Kristen charts, and she talked about this because we pretty much got that down. All right, so I thought just basically her self-coaching was like so real, and I know personally that I really am super hard on myself a lot. Like nobody can be hard on me like I am on myself, you know? And so that's like one of my biggest things. And just how like she talks about how you talk to yourself in that negative way. And like that just really got to me, but I'm not gonna talk about that much. But anyways, like whenever you're doing that though, start putting positives in your mind. Like, man, I did do this, or I did this, and I had courage to do that. So like I got on a plane for the first time and did that.
She'd never flown before in her entire life, and she got on a plane.
I did get really drunk, but I did I did it twice.
But she got on the plane. She'd never done that.
And she was less scared than Kanisha.
Right.
Well, I told you I was drunk.
And it was super turbulent. There was lots of
Yeah, the
turbulence.
Southwest lady was like, you just experienced like the worst turbulence I've seen in 12 years. I'm like, oh.
And that was her first flight. Yeah.
So going home was easy.
Uh-huh.
And then like she was also said, same thing Candace says, 85% of your business is mental and 15% of it's actual skill.
You guys get that? Let that sink in. 85% of this business is mental. 15% is skill. We spend so much time thinking we have to change a booking script or whatever. No, we got to work on our mindset and self-coach. Going along before she moves on, one thing that's why this is so important is she said nobody else can encourage us. We cannot expect anyone else to encourage us. I can't do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you.
Like
you have to encourage yourself.
Things, but basically, if you need to have, it's all about you having the courage and the faith and the
work
hope
on yourself
and all that stuff, because nobody else can actually give you that. Like they can make you feel better, but that's not actually fixing the situation. You know what I'm saying? And then I always the first thing she started out with was really cool. Is I refuse to settle for where I am. I know that God has a great plan for my life and business, and I am pressing forward and becoming everything that He has created me to be. And I thought that was really cool because, I need to hear that a lot, especially just because of my negative situation at home. So, anyways, I just thought that was really cool. And then the other thing too, so she was talking about there is this is kind of how she did these notes for us, and so we kind of could just read over them.
So good.
When she was talking, and that was really cool. And it says, when there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot harm you. And I thought that was neat because so when you're fighting yourself all the time, beating yourself up because you didn't do lipstick first, didn't do something in your skincare thing, or you didn't feel like you did a good booking call or whatever. When you beat yourself up, then things on the outside can hit you more harder, And so whenever you're not hurting yourself all the time, nothing else can really hurt you, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then, so whenever you get a negative thought, it's like you say, this thought's not serving me, or what would be a better thought in this moment? Is this thought hindering me or helping me? And then they made us do this little thing where you write a bunch of questions. But and then she did this circumstance. So like she had this little circle process thing that she had us do. So like, what's your situation or goal or challenge? And then what's your thoughts about that? And then how are you feeling? And then the big ones are like, what's your actions? Because if you go a negative way, your results are going to be different than you do positive. So she like, results show the, outcome. And then,
but the whole point is it all starts with your thoughts. Like when a negative thing happens, your first thought about it, if it's negative or positive, will determine the results and the action of everything. So you've got to catch the thoughts when they're right there, like when someone cancels, when you get that no or whatever. What do you tell yourself right away? Oh, I suck at this, or oh, there must be something wrong with me. That thought is going to determine your next steps. And so canceling that and catching that and saying, this thought's not serving me, cancel that thought, delete it, is going to help you get better results. But it's catching yourself in the moment and being brave enough to ask yourself the questions, where this is coming from, and do the self-coaching stuff that she talked about. It's powerful.
But the questions that aren't starting with why.
Right.
Yeah.
What can I do to get a different result?
So we heard from all 10 of the $1 Million directors. And so Debbie Weld, she was really awesome the way she explained some stuff. And so she did it's called FONK. It's like, don't get in a FONK. And it's fear of not cruising. So fear of not getting on the cruise. Like, just don't get in a FONK.
So we got to expand on that for a second, because that was so good. Fear of not cruising.
Fear of not cruising.
So the whole point is, I know some of you were like, oh yeah, I'm so jealous about the weekend. You had some FOMO about not being here. Well, it's because you didn't work previously the way that these ladies worked, and so I'm not saying that to beat yourself up, but to say, okay, well, next time the cruise happens, don't have no FONK where you're looking all. So she gave us 2 analogies of, going on. So it's October 7th to 11th is when the cruise is. And she said, you have a choice right now as to which boat you're going to be in, literally. She had us visualize what it's going to be like for you to take your family on that cruise, and that feeling of accomplishment, of knowing that you did something for them, and knowing that, how's your husband going to look at you? And you can take your kids on the cruise, by the way. You have to pay a little bit extra, but if you want to take your kids and your husband and your whole family, you can do that. That thing. And she had us think about what it's going to feel like to get on that boat and be surrounded by Mary Kay people, and that feeling of knowing you did it.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, she went into this whole analogy. It was so good.
Visualization. And at the end of it, all you hear as everyone's eyes are closed is sniffle, 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 sniffle.
Yeah.
And then you open and everyone's eyes are just welled up, because it was such a beautiful picture, the way she described everything. And she was the only person there who had just earned her cruise the day before.
Yeah, she just finished.
And so she really was the person to teach on this.
It's perfect.
And then she goes, all right, now close your eyes again. You're sitting at your house. All your Mary Kay friends are going on the cruise. You're sad. You're watching
on Facebook.
Everyone's like, no, I don't want to.
Not gonna do it. But what you do now determines where you're going to be October 7th to 11th. So you have a choice now. What you do, because anybody can earn it. If Debbie Weld earned it in a month and a half, you guys can earn it in 6 months. Seriously. It's just a focus and making up your mind. So, yeah.
And then Debbie Weld also talked about living in your vision and not your reality, because that's super important. Because so for me, when I go home and it's negative, I need to keep thinking about my cruise and not worrying about the stupid crap that's going on, and let that crap know because it's not suiting me. So, and then Candace, having me falling off. So, anyway.
You heard me talk before.
I know, but it's just makes you different when you're in a different place.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And I'm trying not to mess up this mascara, girl.
You're awesome.
All right. So basically, letting your past go, that's something that's really important when you're team building. Just talk about team building. I should probably say that. And then, connecting with your conversations, Jesus. And then listening and being a chameleon, to your surroundings and stuff, and your situations. And I'm not going to talk about the test stuff. Like working large numbers, that's super important because if you don't work large numbers, you're not going to get where you want to be. And then the question you need to ask yourself is, how can I get in front of a large amount of people? And then I'm going to skip to Nikki McDaniel.
Really quick, when you said working large numbers, one of the quotes was, people will disappoint you, numbers won't lie. So the more numbers you work,
that stuff, because I'm like,
you're good. I got your back, girlfriend.
all right, I'll try thinking about it.
Well, and like I shared is, I'm really hard on myself. And so when I work just small numbers, I tend to beat myself up a lot more. So that means if I'm just doing like 3 to 5 faces a month, then, and they don't go great, or I don't get many sales, or I don't get many career chats, then I have the natural personality to be very pessimistic, to be really hard on myself and say, oh, what's wrong with me? You know, I must have done something wrong, you know, because it's easy to question those things when you're working small numbers. But if you're seeing 30 to 40 faces a month, you don't question yourself nearly as much. Does that make sense? Because you have a lot more that's going to happen, right? That you don't end up looking in and thinking there's something wrong with you. Does that make sense?
It was a rare situation to see Candace in a vulnerable spot. Seeing Candace not just as the bubbly person we always see her as and around these other directors, because Candace really did, like, you could see her sitting there when they were doing the questionnaire, and you can see her not wanting to like go up and be the bubbly person to just go answer these questions and being vulnerable. And it was just kind of nice to see her in a raw moment, because we get Candace all the time and we always get her positivity, but kind of seeing that raw moment where she's a little unsure, it makes me feel way better, because I'm like, oh, she is human. Yeah, we all are, and we all have those moments, and we all doubt ourselves, even as $1 million director.
Mm-hmm. Oh, stop it.
Yeah, we all doubt ourselves, and I don't know, I just didn't want to talk, so I just, like, but I felt intimidated. I'll just be honest, like, I'm like, well, I don't have that great a story, like,
she said, I yelled at her, I said, I will skunk you! I yelled at her across the room, and she said, oh, they said something way better than me. I said, oh.
Anyways, yeah.
You be making me cry all the time. You just don't ever look at me when you're up there. I'm bawling like a baby. Mm-hmm. I'm all, I guess because I just love you so much. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so Chelsea, you have to share about what you and I talked about earlier today, and I'll paraphrase unless you want to.
I don't remember.
Okay. So I have to tell you that I'm super proud of Chelsea, because she got on that plane. And I know for a lot of you, if you've flown, you're like, okay, whatever. Flying on a plane was the biggest fear she had in her life. Her life. Like, literally, she'd never flown anywhere her entire life. She was so freaked out and had made it this big, huge thing in her head that it was like life-threatening, and you're always thinking worst case scenario, you know, being sucked out of the window, you know, those horrible stories that we've heard on the news. But so she was scared to death, literally, of going on the plane. She almost didn't go.
I don't even want to talk to you.
She didn't, and she was going to try and back out $1 million weekend and not go because she was so afraid to get on the plane. And I can tell you that she had an incredible time. Just to see her be at $1 Million Weekend, she was beaming, she was smiling, radiating with joy everywhere that she went. She had so much fun. And if she would have let that fear hold her back, she would have not gotten to experience that. And the reason I think that's so powerful is because what fears do you have in your life that you have made be this big, huge, scary thing, and it's not? And once she flew, and she flew with like the worst turbulence ever, you know, then she was like, oh my gosh, I can do that. If I can accomplish, if I can face my biggest fear, what can hold me back now?
Oh,
right?
And honestly, I was kind of mad at myself because I'm like, what the F? I was telling myself that, because it's like, look at all the stuff you've missed out on because you were too big of a, you know,
baby.
Yes, there you go. to not do that, you know?
Right.
And like, oh, there's just so many other things that tie into that. But anywho, if I talk about it, I'll cry. And I got the
You are
You're already crying. Stop apologizing.
Huh?
But on the flip side, look at the door that opened.
No,
exactly
and
what I told
that's
her.
why I cried too, because I'm like, man, it's like,
Everything
honestly,
is fair
that
game.
is like the biggest, that is like literally like one of my biggest fears.
And who's flying
Like,
seminar?
oh yeah, I'm flying seminars.
So you guys, by opening that door though, yeah, like Amy, you said, the sky's
I
the
took
limit.
BMX, and I did
Like there is
softball.
literally nothing that can hold her back. You know? So you guys, the whole point is I want you to hear that and say, what fear am I letting hold me back
And I'm
from
like,
the incredible things that are waiting for me around the corner? Maybe it's a fear of warm chattering. Maybe it's a fear of calling those scary ladies or those
Chicken list.
intimidating your chicken list. Well, what fear that really isn't that bad until you do it is holding you back right now where your whole future is in front of you. And I have to share one more thing, which I think is so cool, is so her husband knows her better than anyone else, right? And he's lived with her for years, and he has seen this fear hold her back. He sent me a message yesterday about, this is beautiful. This is why I do this, is just how proud he was of Chelsea and how much he's seen her grow. And because he knew how big of a fear this was for her, you guys. And he has been trying to get her on a plane forever. But getting in Mary Kay, you know, now it's opened the door for them and where they can go and where they can travel. And so he is so grateful. And I have to tell you that Chelsea's the perfect example of what this company is about. When I met her, I remember exactly when she walked in the door, she was scared. She wouldn't have eye contact. She didn't say anything the entire time, but that her fear was just overwhelming. Her marriage was not doing great, but because she has changed, because she stepped out of her comfort zone, her husband has changed, has grown, and it's strengthened their marriage because they're both growing. And they actually just accepted Jesus into their heart a few weeks ago. And like, you guys, like that's what this company does, is people like Chelsea that they stretch and they grow that you never know. Like I never knew the day that I met her at Chili's and I gave her the flower and she said no and didn't want my flower. But her daughter said yes, and that's why we're here today. You never know whose life you're gonna change because you just asked, right? And so Chelsea, I am so proud of you, the growth. And what I did tell her is, just like Amy said, the sky's the limit. Now that you face this fear, I mean, what else can hold you back? You know, that it's the same for you guys. I want you to think about right now. I literally want you to think about right now, what is the biggest fear that you have in your life? No, I'm serious. We're going there. I want you to think, you don't have to say it out loud, but what is the biggest fear?
The whole time, you guys, like, I'm
Yeah.
not even kidding. Like before they even
Because
opened their mouth.
She
like,
knew that she wouldn't have been here if she would have let fear hold her back, right? So I want you to think about what is the biggest fear you have in your life right now, okay? That thing.
do it.
I encourage you to do it. This week, I want you to do it. Whatever it may be. What is the biggest fear you have maybe in your business, or what do you know, I mean, we all have so much fear, but do it this week and see if it's as bad as you think, because I can guarantee it's probably not as bad as you think, and you probably have made it 10 times worse in your brain
I know.
than
I
it
won't
really
do
is.
that again.
Just like she did with flying. Like she said,
I
she was
won't
so mad at
ever do
herself.
that again. I won't
So-
let myself do that.
Don't let
It's
fear
not
hold you
worth it.
back from the future that's waiting for you. So,
Oh,
Chelsea,
Jesus.
thank you for being brave and facing your fears and being an inspiration to so many. Woo! We love you. All right,
Thank you. But
all right,
anyways,
Stacy, it's your turn. We want to hear from Stacy. Stacy, you mind swapping with Amanda so they can hear her?
Just Nikki McDaniel did this
You
commitment
can swap
thing,
them
you
now.
guys, and it's about the cruise. I'm gonna hurry real quick.
No, go for it.
And so she's like, you're either committed or you're not committed. She did a call on it a while back on $1 Million call.
Yeah.
And anyway, so you're either committed or you're not committed. You either have you're
interested or committed.
If there's a brain surgeon about to do a brain surgery, and he's like, oh, I'm about an 8 and on a 1 to 10. No, you want it at 10%, or like the other analogy was if you're getting married and he's only at a 9, and you're like, what? But I know I would be saying more than that, but anyway. So
When you ask them their level of commitment.
yeah,
use that
and
word.
you don't
If
want a
ask
guy
them.
at a 9. You want him that fully committed to you. You're getting married, like that's a huge
And
deal.
if you're someone doing your brain surgery, you don't want them 80% committed to the surgery.
Surgery, right.
He's got to be 100% committed. It's the same thing in your business. If you're just if you're half in and if you're like, yeah, how do you feel about this cruise? How much am I committed? Oh, I'm only 50% committed. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You've literally got to be 100%
Yeah.
committed. And I've always been told, she didn't say this, but she said if you're 90%, I've always been told if you're 90% in, you're 100% out.
Yes.
Just like
And
the
then-
commitment thing.
Yeah, and she's like
marriage.
saying, I have no other option but to earn the cruise. That's it.
Yep.
And then just you say I will be persistent. What you always be asking yourself, what must I do to make it happen? And then okay, you go because there's a lot still on. I talk slow.
So
Go ahead, Stacy.
the first thing, real fast on Kristen Sharp, because we talked a lot about
Yes.
her.
But we really didn't get into everything, so keep going.
She had so many aha moments for me
Yes.
personally.
Yeah.
She did. And I know, we talked about how personable she is and how
Real.
Yeah.
and how she hugged me and took a picture with me and told me a secret. And I told her one. And
Oh.
BFF.
Oh, secrets don't make friends.
Ah, you told her secrets.
It was an important thing I had to say to her. But anyway, here's the
As long
thing.
as it was, my daughter loves you.
Yeah, I did tell her
I
that.
want to make sure.
I did tell her that.
Like, that was my
Yeah.
first question.
But
Did you tell her how much I love her?
I guess my point is that she passed out these things, and I'm happy to retype them and pass them out next week when there's more people here. She gave us a lot of interesting information, a lot of facts,
Yeah.
a lot of good things that we already talked about, plus. There's a lot in this packet. She
Yeah.
gave us a lot of interesting things, and one of the things that makes it more drives home the point of how real she is that one of these sheets that she passed out talked about and went with what she said to us about it doesn't matter that she's still national. She does skin card classes every week.
She's going to one on
makes
Sunday.
her calls every week. She works her business. And one of these papers, and I'll pass it out so you guys can just look at it. And there is a column that says the years, and the unit recruits a number, and the personal recruits of either her or her personal team only versus her entire, what would
Her
the
unit,
recruits be without her personally recruiting? And they're amazing. I'll just give you one. In 2014, her unit recruits were 368. Her personal or first line recruits were 246. Without Kristen team building, it would only been 122 or less. So at the end of this 6-7 years, she had 1,846 recruits, 1,260 were from personal, 586 or less would have been from everybody else.
And that's what made her a national.
And this is what she does. And she said, from the beginning to the day that we're talking, she does the same thing every day. Because being consistent and working your business is the only way you're going to get anywhere. And I got to tell you this, when Amanda said she's a pro girl, she is a pro girl. She wears her beauty coat everywhere. She wears it. She wears it on errands. She wears it grocery shopping. She wears it everywhere she goes because it's a conversation starter. And she believes in that beauty coat.
She has her name embroidered on it, and she takes her national directors to wear her beauty coat.
And now she wears a captain's hat with her beauty coat.
She
Yes,
does.
she does.
She's
She
got a
does.
captain's hat. She has to talk about the cruise.
Yep, she wears
Yeah.
it everywhere.
She's so dedicated to running her business,
And
she's a national. Like, you think that when you get to the national level, you don't really have to as much.
You don't have to,
probably
but-
don't. But she wants to. She wants to continue to be
Choice.
the best.
Choice. Absolutely. And she did three skincare parties a week is what she was obsessed with. You guys, that's what Mary Kay Ash told us to do. You go anywhere you want to go by having 3 parties a week.
Do you have the quote of the $4 million difference?
I don't, but that was about, the follow-up piece. But yeah,
Do you
that
remember what was that exactly?
basically like that was the power of follow-up when she was talking about, how you have, so she was talking about how, she gave us this great handout about following up with our team members, which, by the way, Stacy, I'm going to box Kristen tonight and ask her if she can send us all the handouts that she gave us, because that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
too.
I'm just PDF it.
Yeah, yeah. So
I was
will.
gonna retype it, so.
No, but you don't retype it. That's great. I'm just going to ask her. So she gave us this thing about follow-up, how when you share with somebody, you know, follow-up is huge. And if you don't follow up, or if it's not for them now, it doesn't mean that it won't be for them ever again in the future. That a lot of people share, like I know a lot of you have shared with a ton of people, but do you ever follow up with them afterwards? Because just because they said no now doesn't mean that they're never interested. And so the $4 million difference was, it was Linda Tupin and Lisa Madsen, two national sales directors. Linda Tupin claims, she's of course sad now, but that she did not follow up as consistently and religiously as Kristen was talking about. But Lisa Madsen did, and there's literally a $4 million difference in the amount of money that they have made in Mary Kay. And both of them attribute to the follow-up piece and, you know, just letting stuff fall through the cracks and not making the phone calls and following up as consistently as you could.
A woman's life changes every 90 days.
Mhm.
Every 90 days.
Every 90 days.
Every 90 days. Just think of that.
So you got to follow up at least every 90 days, because you never know if her life has changed. You know?
That's Brandy.
Yeah. She's a perfect
Brandy
example of you never know where.
One that I career chatted and did all this stuff, and then it was like,
It took you a year and a half to get. A year
Yeah.
and a half.
for me too. I was like, oh my God, if I do this, will you shut up now?
Uh-huh.
It
And look at
worked.
you
I'm just
now.
saying, you guys, it worked.
Follow up. But even then when you
serious, like,
But then when you did sign up, then you didn't even open the box and
didn't
then
do
your
anything
orientation
forever.
forever. Yeah.
and then now
Here you are. So you never know.
Right? See? Follow up. Very important.
All right,
All right,
I
back to
have
Stacy. Back to
things
Stacy.
Just a
All right.
little bit more.
Back to Stacy.
Okay. So
Stacy had some major
I
breakthroughs.
really had personal major breakthroughs. I'm just going to tell you. But in the one of the sessions where we did all these exercises, all of the $1 Million Directors got up and they had a topic that they talked about. And it's funny because the things that they talked about are not the things in my notes. So the things that were really hit home with me, the first one was about time management, and that you don't have to block out hours a day to get something done. You know, you can work your business in as little as 15-minute increments. But the most important thing is to be successful is that you have to be present. You have to be present. You have to be focused. You have to be intentional. You have to work when you're working and play when you're not working. You have to put your phone down. You have to not scroll. And that was her topic, was less scrolling, more creating. Be prioritized, be disciplined, but make sure that you have a start time and an end time to your work, because without a start time and an end time, without a list of priorities that you need to get done, you cannot look at it and see what you've accomplished. And just like you're talking about numbers, speak volumes, and you know what I mean? Tracking is important. This kind of tracking is important too. Even if all you write down is that I spent 15 minutes and I called these 2 people. Okay, but you see that you moved forward, that you did something. And if there's nothing on there, then you have to ask yourself, well, what can I do better next time? So that I use my time more valuable. And it was really kind of cool because she called it a brain dump list.
Yeah.
And when she starts out her day, she literally makes a brain dump. Every single thing that she can get out of her head that she knows that she has to do. And so she clears her mind. It's all on paper now. And then you check off what you can get done in your work times so that at the end you feel accomplished. Yes, power sessions. Whatever they can be. Are they 30-minute sessions because then you need to go pick your kids up from school? Or are they 2-hour sessions because your kids are in school? But whatever that time is, you have to be consistent about using it and about making it valuable.
And at the end of the night, and I've never done this, and I've started doing this. I don't know how many people do follow Mary Kay's the 6 most important things every night. The last thing that you do before you go to sleep is you write down the 6 most important things.
You gotta accomplish the next day.
Yes. And she was interesting because she said, make sure you balance the list between people and money making. Make a balance. And she
Or
said,
task and people.
yes. I think actually she used the word money. She's
Well,
a money,
just that the task of like
the
managing your
task,
inventory and all that
right.
is not making you money right now.
Right, that's right.
And we tend to be either task people or people, and you got to have both to be able to move forward.
And you talk about like subliminal things, like the last thing you hear at night before you go to sleep, it stays in your head, or whatever you're watching on TV. So if you continue to do this and you program your mind that you write these things down and they stay with you all night, and you get up and you're ready to tackle these things. So I thought that was really good. And the other person, don't laugh, you guys, but there was one director, and she got it when she talked about money.
Yeah, that was good.
And she was so good because it's something that, some people say, well, if you talk about money, it's a little crass, or, we don't want to talk about our finances. It's very personal. Okay, well, let's face it. Here's what she said to start off with. If you think money doesn't alleviate stress, you don't have enough money. That's true. And isn't that true, though?
True.
Isn't that true? And then she said, ask yourself this, will your family be glad and benefit from you doing your work? Will they? Okay. Do you think money doesn't solve your problems? Because it will. How many problems will not be solved by money in one way or another, whatever it is. And she said, don't be ashamed to think and talk about the money aspect of your business, because it is an important part of your business, regardless of what you do with it. If you pay your children's tuition with it, or if you are, saving to go on a vacation, or if you're just buying groceries, or if you're stocking your inventory, it doesn't matter what it is. The money aspect has to be important because it's great. The payouts are great. 50% is great. And I can't believe it won't entice people. I can't believe that there's a lot of people in America that say, I'm not in it for the money. Because,
Right.
Let's
It's
face
an
it.
excuse.
That's right. So she said to increase your money awareness because it will motivate you. Increase your money awareness. Increase what you have to do to make more money because it will motivate you. And then it says, she said, get to a place where you never say you can't afford something. Because
that's
you
huge.
can in this business. You can.
So just
We
don't
were
say that,
there.
period. Is what she was saying.
Yes.
She's like, just don't say that at all
Just-
because you're just
Exactly.
in the money.
Right.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
say what she said to say instead. Or did you write that down?
I did.
She said, I'm not willing.
I'm not willing
that.
to work for it, because if you are telling yourself I can't afford it, you're really not. You're telling yourself I am not willing to work for that, because you can afford anything you want in this business.
Oh, yeah.
But the question is, are you willing to work for it? Most people just give up and say, oh, I can't afford that. No, you have an opportunity. You could literally, Kristen Sharp, she shared with us, she makes over $300,000 a year. You guys, the income potential is ridiculous. It's available for you too. Not just for Kristen Sharp, that it's not saying I can't afford it. It's saying I am not willing to do the work it takes to afford that. Does that make sense? That's a different mindset, and you're taking responsibility instead of pulling a victim mentality like, oh, poor me, I can't afford. No, you have a choice. You're in an unlimited income earning potential opportunity. So question is willingness, not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she said, if you put as much effort into making money as you do into budgeting and cutting corners and worrying
And
and
Facebook.
stressing and all the other things, you would have the money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of goes hand in hand with the time management. Make your little blocks of time to make your money, to do what you have to do for whoever it is that you're doing this for. If it's yourself, good for you. I say buy more lipstick. Because God did not put us on this planet to be broke.
Amen.
He did not. He does not want us to want. He does not
He wants us to
Struggle.
prosper.
He wants us to prosper. And the last thing she said is the biggest money trail is helping people move up in this company. You help people move up in this company, and there's your money trail right there.
Mhm.
And it goes right back down to
With that, she had said, when you don't work for the money of Mary Kay, it comes easy.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
love that. Like,
She was spot on. The other thing that she said, or I don't know, that I really wrote down is change the way you think about money. Create money affirmations that are powerful,
Oh, yeah.
because if you're struggling, it's probably what there's some belief and some lie that you're telling yourself about money. You know, oh, I can't make enough money or whatever. No, like I came home and I recreated my affirmations, and I hope that you guys do the same thing.
Yes,
And part of my
absolutely.
money affirmation is I make money easily. I attract money easily, because I wrote that down. That I don't know if she said that or it was the first thing that came to my brain, but change your attitude about money. That tell yourself, I make money easily. I attract money easily, and you will start attracting it. You know, so
Yeah.
change your attitude about money, and what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
And then,
Well, with the money aspect, we didn't know how to pay for your cost. Like, as of yesterday, I didn't have the money, and Phil's like, we can't afford for you. I was like, well, fine, I'm gonna do it. And with the goal that Candace gave, my goal was hit 150. I did 203, so I turned around, used my profits, paid for career conference. He's like, wait, did you come out of our account? He's like, I was like, no, I'm paying it
Yeah.
back. He's like, wait,
You did the work. You did the work to pay for career conference. Yeah.
And I like it stopped at 203.
Yeah.
But I hit the mark of now you paid for career
Yep.
conference. And I don't-
Because you were willing to do the work for it, you know? And so none of you in the room can say, I can't afford career conference. Like, that cannot be your verbiage anymore. The question is, are you willing to work for it? Just like Elizabeth did. In a day, she sold. And the cool thing about Elizabeth, she literally did it in a day, because the promotion was like for several days. But literally Sunday was the last day, and I posted it. Yeah. And then I posted, hey, today's the last day. And she's like, oh, shoot, today's the last day. And literally, and because she had a deadline, she sold it. You guys can do the same thing. Yeah. I'll get back to it again. But, all right. So what else, Stacy? What else? I know she's got some powerful stuff, too.
The other thing is that we did exercises, and I know that we talk about this all the time. We've already hit on it tonight, is that speaking affirmations.
Mhm.
You know, so Kristen's mother was a national, and Kristen shared with us that from the time that she was a child, her mother spoke affirmations over her. She was, I probably didn't even know what she was saying, but it didn't matter.
So cool.
And she did that her whole life, so she grew up in this atmosphere.
Tell about the story about she used to hide behind her mom's leg.
Oh, she did, and
Good story.
she would introduce Kristen, and Kristen said she was very shy and she would hide behind her mother. And she would say things like, and this is my daughter Kristen, and she is so outgoing, and she is so this, and loves people. And the whole time she's hiding, but she doesn't say, oh, she's so shy. I'm sorry, she's so shy, like we tend to do. We always have, you know.
oh man.
She said, no, this is my daughter, and she's so outgoing, and she just loves people, and all these positive things, because all of her life she spoke affirmations over her at all different times of her life. And she shared this.
And now Kristen loves people, and she's outgoing
And
because
she
her
is
mom spoke
outgoing.
that over her. You guys, that's powerful. As moms, you have such a big influence. Share.
Yes.
I think that I want to start.
This
Yeah,
is
share
the
that.
cutest thing ever. So she gave us a picture of this. So how she does. So her little boy is 2. Okay. Before he was born, she wrote this affirmation, and it's in a frame over his door. And every morning from the time that he was born, she holds him, and they stand in front of that affirmation, and she reads it to him. And if she forgets because she's busy, he will remind her.
I am art.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
his name.
his name is on the top. And it says, you were born to blaze new trails, pioneer great adventures, reclaim new territory, take daring risks. You were born to tell an original story. Be God strong and foolishly courageous. Let faith, not fear, be your compass. Truth, not lies, be your guide. Always remember to give God room to prove himself faithful. You were born for such a time as this. And she reads it to him every morning. And I thought, this is so powerful in so many aspects, because I know even with my grandkids, sometimes you out of your mouth comes, like we we're talking about, why'd you do that? And to think how lives could be changed when you
Just by
speak
words.
affirmations, when you do it. But even to yourself, like I can do hard things. I am blessed and highly favored. I am a leader. I do more than I'm asked. I leave places better than I found it. I am confident, courageous, and I make friends easily. If you just keep doing it, it works.
That affirmation up there, I don't know if you remember that, but she said that's what Julia Burnett says to her kids every morning. So she's another national, and she lines her kids up every morning and literally has them repeat. So say it again, because it's powerful, you guys. If you say it to yourself and then to your
Maybe
kids,
you should write this down, because even if you don't have an affirmation,
it's a great place to start. So say it again, Stacy, because you guys, that's some powerful stuff right there. That and we hear the way that Kristen grew up, and that's why all these national daughters are so confident, because they grew up in a home being affirmed that way. If you didn't grow up that way, then you need to be affirming yourself. Because there's a lot of negativity. Yes. But start now with your kids. Yeah, say it again. This is powerful.
I can do hard things. I am blessed. And
have them say it after you. I think they should say it after you. Stacy, have them say it after you. Start with the first one.
I can do hard things.
I can do hard things.
I am blessed and highly favored.
I am blessed and highly favored.
I am a leader.
I am a leader.
I do more than I'm asked.
I do more than I'm asked.
I leave places better than I found it.
I leave places better than I found it.
I am confident, courageous, and I make friends easily.
I am confident, courageous, and I make friends easily.
Imagine if you spoke this
Yeah.
over your children every day. Imagine it. There's nowhere for it to go but inside. There's just nowhere for it to go. And like she said, maybe he doesn't always get everything that she's saying, but he will. And he will grow up positive. And like
she needs to hear it every morning.
Yes.
If she forgets, he reminds her
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
It's getting into subconscious though, which is powerful. Do you know that your identity is usually developed from 1 to 7? That by 7 years old, the lies and the beliefs we had about ourselves at 7 is what we're walking around in our bodies now, creating. And so if you can do that at a young age, even though he's 2 and he doesn't understand it, she's creating his identity right now. That's powerful.
It's amazing how words, words, saying the right word changes everything. And I just want to share one more thing, because it's on this. And she talked about how if you just change words a little bit, it changes everything. Contrast. Don't hesitate to call. Like if you're talking to someone, you're marketing or you're one chatter, you say, don't hesitate to call me. Versus call me soon.
Totally different.
Call me soon.
different reaction.
If you tell yourself, I don't want to fail, versus I expect to succeed. How do you feel? How do you feel? I'm not bad. That's not a bad statement. I'm not bad, but I'm great. No worries. Versus I'm happy to. I'm happy to.
And I say that last, or no problem.
I say no problem, no worries. I say it all the time. No worries. No problem. That's easy. That's easy. Doesn't it sound more positive? That's easy, then no problem. But I can't versus I expect, I prefer, I am committed to, I'm in the process of. So just little tiny changes. It gets in your head, it motivates you. The person that you're talking to, like earlier when they were talking about, just be a better listener. You get, you know what I mean? People
Find you interesting.
Yes, they do. They do. Everything after I am will come looking for you.
That's huge. You guys get that? Everything after I am. So you say, I'm lazy, I'm tired, I'm fat, I'm whatever, I'm broke.
I say I'm
That
chunky.
will come after, then you're gonna keep being chunky. If you're good at it, but
I'm Barbie.
But whatever you say after I am will come after you, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Dang it.
And
All
I
right.
don't
So if
remember
you're not happy with it, don't say it.
I don't remember who said this, but it kind of goes along with it. It's like when you're trying to build people up, or whether you're trying to build yourself up, and somebody gives you a compliment, and you disregard it or you downplay it, you're dismissing them,
Yeah.
not you.
As
not
a
you.
person, like who they
Right.
are,
You're
what they think.
dismissing their.
It's insulting.
Yes, you're dismissing.
I'm all sorry, Candace.
I know. I'm so
All
offended.
right.
And like, that's why they did that exercise.
Hey, I did
too.
really good this weekend,
You
though.
did. I know. That's why. Yeah. I mean,
That's why they did that exercise though, is so you could see what these other people think of you. And you may look at one of those things and be like, oh, that's not me. But no, that is you. That's what somebody else thinks of you. So
I don't
you
think
not
any of
taking
those
that
things are
compliment,
me. Right.
it's really, really, it's rude. It's blatantly rude, to be completely honest. And
It's-
so when you have someone say to you, you're beautiful, you're confident, I am, thank you. And like, you don't necessarily have to say it like that, just, you don't want to sound cocky either, but
You can
When
just
you- when
say
you're-
thank you, but in your head say I am.
but you say
Thank you.
thank you.
accept it.
I walked up to Kristen Sharp when I finally got to meet her, and I just looked at her and I said, "You are so beautiful." She goes, "Thank you. You are so beautiful, and I'm going to accept your compliment." And I said, "Thank you. I will accept your compliment as well." And then she gave me a big old hug and took a picture with me.
And what you just did, because it's funny you did that. Do you remember her saying that when someone gives you a compliment, you put your hand on your
Yeah.
heart, and you just literally did that, because that's what Kristen
You
did.
accept it.
Is when someone tells you you're beautiful, say
That
I
is
am.
funny.
Thank
She
you.
just totally
Like
told
I
me.
know. And I just saw you do that, and she said to do that.
That way you're accepting
You're
it.
accepting it into your soul. Isn't that crazy?
And then
I didn't realize I did that.
I know. I thought I could catch you on it.
So like if you're not team building or you're scared to team build, because this is something that I have to work on personally, but me and Candace talked about it this morning. And so you write like the qualities that you want
Yes.
to see in your team. Like, so I mean, I'll just be a little honest. Some of the people that has been coming my way isn't some of the people that I want on my team. And so like I need to start like, you know, saying affirmations about that and praying to God about helping me have tracked. Yeah.
Right.
And like, you know, so that's kind of important too. And so since we're all wanting to go on the cruise, we need to be praying about people we need on our team so we can be getting our team going so we can go get on the cruise.
You need to
So
attract the people who are going to be successful in this
Right.
business,
Right.
not the people who don't have enough money to buy a starter.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, if they're willing to work and to figure out how to get the starter kit, that's one thing. But the people that are like, oh, $100
And
or $25 re-sign, they can afford $25.
Right.
They're not going to run with the company the way that you're going to want them to build their company.
because you want to run. All right. Anyway,
I have lots.
the thing.
What thing?
Oh, the thing. The I am powerful.
Oh, that. All right.
Are we done?
Oh,
Anything
we're
else
not
you wanna
reading
add?
that one.
Well, one thing.
Well, I
Go
have
ahead
a
and start,
million
Christina. I'm
things
gonna
to
finish up.
add.
One thing real
You
quick.
can ask what you want.
No,
Just
we
finish
can,
up.
we can do it next, you know, so that we don't.
This was really cool though, because they had talked about having a burial squad. Having people in your life
That was good.
that you can call in the middle of the night to bury someone.
That's what you want on your team. Your
That's
area
what
squad.
Yeah.
How great is that?
That's
though?
what you
Like,
want on
want
your
these
team.
people in your life that are going to be there for you wholeheartedly, that you can call them in the middle of the night and no questions asked, they're going to be there for you.
All right, girl. Well, I will just say that ditto to everything. We had an incredible time, and it was truly an honor to be there and to take you guys there. And my goal is for us to do million 3 years in a row and be able to take more people again.
Can we do it?
Can we do it? Yes, we can. So like I said, we're a little behind right now, so we're gonna kill it the next 5 months, right? And this month's super important, of course, to end the career conference. But I'm just so glad you guys got to see the bigger picture of what's possible. And my hope is that you guys can know that now you can take your own units there. Now that you've seen that, Now you have the possibility to take your own unit there when you become a director, because there's no reason you can't be a director and then be $1 million director right away. Katie Goldstein did it. So exactly.
I just couldn't even imagine the feeling. Like,
Yeah, awesome. All right, so Amanda's gonna finish y'all up.
Stop this, or I don't know how to.
Well, thank you for going, Hannah.
All right, guys. I am great.
I am great.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
I am a woman of excellence.
I am a woman of excellence.
I am a hell yeah, I'm a superstar. I will let nobody push my buttons.
I will let nobody push my buttons.
I will let nobody rain on my parade.
I will let nobody rain on my parade.
I will go over.
I will go over.
I will go under.
I will go under.
I will go around.
I will go around.
And I will go straight through.
I will go straight through.
Any obstacle that comes my way.
Any obstacle that comes my way.
Because I am highly motivated.
Because I am highly motivated.
Truly dedicated.
Truly dedicated.
And I am a future cruise-going free car driver in the making.
And I am a future cruise going.
I got it. All right, I don't know how to do this. Bye, guys. There we go.
I know that last word thingy, I just go all the way through it. Every time.
Now do I go to the liquor store just like this?
I took it. Look, I took it. Y'all almost didn't.
Yes, it is.
I have no idea.
What happened to the sheet, y'all?
Where's the sheet?
Not today.
I haven't snapped up yet either, so just write them down.
Hey, Amanda, will you help me with the table?
Did they end us?
I don't know, have no idea.
We won't do
Yeah, it's easier that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's easier that way.
Every month. I know, right?
I will chip in $5.
Here you go.
No, last year.
Didn't go very far.
I was with y'all.
Far back.
And like Candace said, will somebody help me? I'll do it. I'll do it.
Make it so much easier. Last year, I drove in Park by Robin.
Overwear.
Yeah.
I've learned how to play
I'm so sad. I'm trying to figure out.
Spoiled.
It's so much. They're married. They're getting married at the 4th. So it's like, okay, so I have to fly right Dallas to San Diego instead of flying home. Yeah. To get this out, but then Phil's the one with the kids. No, I'm supposed to get a beat.
The week in after the cruise. So
All right.
I might just need to fly.
What else do we need to do?
Singing.
Already starting.
Dang. Need a new. There it is.
I don't have a thing, a pen.
A Mary Kay pen?
Oh,
Yeah, my back of my pen broke off.
Look at it.
What do we do here? Just exit?
You'll get some stuff. Save it first.
What's that what I do? Do I just exit out of this and close your
I
laptop?
guess, I'm not for sure.
Is there any kind of recording button?
I already ended it.
Yes, you should be able to.
Do I just click out of it? I don't want it. I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't want it
Oh,
to
no,
be
you
like-
can take it if you want.
So we did.
No.
You can help. You can help.
Are you gonna grab that?
Okay.
Take it away.
Take them to vacuum lady.
My house is really clean or something. It's not much. I vacuuming like.
Hey, are any of you ladies going near Manitou Springs? Like exit 141?
No. Why?
Cause, so my husband rented a hotel and it's like right off exit 141. Like
Tonight?
Yeah.
Get it all out?
So I could come to my meeting and, yeah, it's like 141.
Yeah, I do.
Can you
Yeah.
by chance?
I don't even, yes.
Yes.
Yes, just yes.
Amy's our yes girl.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
I just
He was
need
like,
it.
whatever your stuff. He was like, we need to go. Took me out to dinner and stuff, and we didn't get to do anything for Valentine's Day. I normally have to leave right away, but.
I'm like,
Hello, are you outside?
Gets fruit and everything.
Okay, I just didn't know, I was just making sure. My friend Amy can drop me off, what is the name of that hotel?
Yeah.
You know where that's at?
Yeah, it's right next to my house.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so it's right next door, so she can drop me off there.
Absolutely. Is it the Magnus and Grand or the Magnus?
He wants to know if we can stop at E&W so we can get my kid a root beer float. Yes. She said yes.
Is it the one right next to Emerald Fields?
Do you want a root beer float?
Right, I'm good.
All right. I'll make you for a couple bottles of gas, okay? I'm going to.
I don't think so, babe. Thank you so much for bringing it up. Yeah. Okay. All right, honey. It was better. I will. We got my last week. And more. I need to earn them some classes. All right, Matt. All right.
My husband, you are so awesome, thank you.
I really thought
Our
I
kids
was
just
just
got
and
over a
stuff like
double
that, but I wanted to go so bad.
bronchitis, and we really don't want to get her out. But it's like super cold.
Yeah.
Because,
I went
and, you know, like, there were some DQs and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's fine.
I really feel like I totally
Yeah,
like,
I
and she's like,
Yeah, even if it wasn't.
Don't even tell your son for a second.
Never heard you do it.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna go outside and smoke cigarettes. I'll be out there.
Your son is a national, right? Did she? Oh, I'm sure she did.
Oh, yeah, she did a million, but she never said, okay, we're going to do something. Never, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just kind of crazy too, because a lot of the girls who were there, they were like, no one believed that they earned
Yeah.
it. And what was kind of cool.
So that's kind
And then they just built us up to be like, yes, you earned it. And it just.
And you can do more.
Exactly. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I love y'all.
Love you too. Have a good one.
Bye. You look good with the bag. Isn't this bag just love it. Well, it's really happy though.
Gonna have to unload some stuff.
Oh, hello.
How are you, my dear?
Good.
Oh, hug me. Get you a belly hug.
It's so funny. The kids on the playground today said they love that. Touch me, and I'm like,
Just need a hug.
Big ass bubble bath. It's happening.
All right. Make it happen.
All my kids will have cold. I just get the cold one more time. Because I fell asleep real quick last night. They're all sleeping. I was like, what is that?
It's amazing.
It's before 9 o'clock. What?
Why question it?
Yeah, right. But then my 2-year-old woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning and stayed until like 5.
See, you question it.
Just let it happen. Okay, was it January? No, because that's when they do from March through July. Okay, we're tired of all the consistency last year. We don't really, no, I need to bring more. We should. Consistency challenge for summer. January, start March. That's we're in there. No, there's one person. Oh, January. Oh, February, March. Okay, and then March, December, May. March, April, May.
In June.
Because I know that my mom was getting it was like my dad. I always learned at them out because she missed it by like no. How much different is start? We're gonna be on that anyway, because we're only gonna. Right? I know I wanted to rip off that thing and we had to pack it and be like, you're not sorry. I mean, I tried this. Yeah. And I like that one. But I like that color. Jason's trying to help us in. I have a picture of it. I like it. I love it. I think it's like right. I got to put that. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get it.
She's probably already outside. I'm in there blubbering.